If it's a Tuesday, if it's 12:30-ish, it's Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 421. What's up? If we're going to do this, we better bring the A game, right, everybody? We got no time to screw around. Major market events are happening. A lot to get into today. What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing today? How about a volume check? How about an everything check? How about a market check? Bitcoin check? Just check it off for continuations about to develop in a major way. A lot to get into. We'll touch on a little bit of the BS out there versus the HP, the harmonic patterns. A lot to talk about because, folks, we're in quite a market environment across the board. I'm pretty happy about what I'm seeing. I hope you are too. How are you today? What's going on, Steven? It Flies, David, Echo, Imrock, Floyd, Wayne, the crew, Chipper Flipper. Great to see you guys. Hey, you know where it starts, right? Harmonic Pattern Collection. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. No need to shill it other than to tell you that if you subscribe now, get the trial, we will send you access to the June 20 installment of the next HPC strategy series, talking about failed harmonic patterns, which is something we need to talk about today. A lot going on. Everyone else, especially new folks, listen, it's all free. Stop paying other idiots for harmonic pattern knowledge when you can get it all for free right here. At harmonictrader.com, register now, become a basic member, and then it's all there. So much garbage out there, man. There's so much narrative, false narrative out there. How are all those short sellers feeling that thought tariffs were going to take it down? We were going to have the next crash. I don't think so. Check out what NASDAQ's doing today, ripping higher. We're almost at my target, which is 770 for today. Just to let you guys know, I've been targeting this since this morning. We had a counter HSI dot and then hop level 772, kids. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop just because some New York guys think that tariffs, they're bad. And I didn't vote for Trump. I have told you that before. I vote for the markets. That's it. I spend my time and energy on the markets. No time for politics or news stories. Patterns over politics every day. Patterns over narrative every day. Read the levels, people. Because it's signs like this where we have a beautiful pattern, but counter HSI, it says harmonic dud, send it higher. What's the next level? Right there, check it back. That's going to happen today. We're going to retest that HSI arrow probably in this session. The high of that is 788. Hop level 772. Hold me to it. Let's see where we get to from here. Okay. How you doing today? What's up? That's right. All good. Great to see you. What's up? Hook of Fish is back. MC. Let's partay is right. We got to have some fun. Everybody's so negative, so down. Like, wah. Trump didn't save the world yet. Wah. Markets aren't at 30,000 NASDAQ yet. Wah. No. We'll get there. This is the generational opportunity, people. Jump on board now before it leaves the station for good. NASDAQ, we got to talk about this. I'll jump to Bitcoin momentarily. Big things happening there, but right now, we are well above the hop level on the weekly for this retest. And where's confirmation? I talked about this last week. Guys, we're heading back up. We're going to push. We are going to push, and this is going to go into the overbought, and we're going to get some expansion. Now, June is going to be a big fat green candle, in my opinion. And I would be surprised if we are not at all-time new highs by the end of the month. All-time new highs, 22,527. 22,527, book it. By the end of the month. That's only 800 higher. You're talking, I don't know, 4 of days like today over the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's not a stretch. But I like what's going on here. And again, some of the stuff I will be pointing out on the 20th. Like how to read this retest. No doubt it is a big deal because we've got massive patterns, weekly, monthly. Typically on a type 2 here, I would say, hey, type 2 reversal. But we need some certain items, issues, confirmation parameters to confirm this. It's not there yet. We don't even have, I mean, we have one red candle since we completed on the weekly, and it's straight on through. I mean, it's phenomenal. What we want to see, like especially on something like S&P 500, because this is, I said this to my crew yesterday, this monthly pattern is the greatest harmonic creature that has ever lived. All right, this puppy. And what happens here will define the rest of the decade. Right here, right now. I'm thinking it's June. I'm thinking it's 3 weeks away, and we're going to know what's going to happen by 2028, 2029. Because it sure looks like all that January, February was a massive shakeout within this channel. And now we're back up on the monthly chart. Listen, yesterday was day 1 for any kind of assessment. This is the check back. This is the type 2 return move we've talked about since April. But what's here? Not much. Not much. And if anything, the few things to take note of. The simple fact on our monthly that not only are we not under the 50 level, we're headed back up. And the surprising part, okay, on the monthly, we didn't get oversold. Man, if we would have triggered an HSI there, I would have been 100%. We're going to fail it. Regardless, I'm going to watch this. The second that cracks above the 50, I say we're gone. I say we don't look back. We got lots of things breaking out. You got lots of markets that are just complete fire. A lot of trending markets, even some low floaters look like they're ready to go. But I'll tell you, for the S&P 500, break it down on that monthly chart. Yeah, greatest harmonic creature that ever developed. And this, on the weekly chart's even better. Break that monthly into a weekly. What do you have? I mean, a firm type 2, just like NASDAQ, pushing. Look, we're going to run to the 6180 level on the index. We're currently 5985. So that is absolutely, pure harmonic love happening right here. And again, reading the pattern, looking and knowing what to look for in terms of a type 2. Is there any confirmation here? No. Do we have any individual bar reversal? No. Okay, and those are all signs where you're going to push higher, retest obvious resistance, and hop level 6180, 6179.75. Great to see everybody today. What's going on? Yeah, we're looking at ES right now, Mr. Phillip. And this is, I've been saying that we play the return phase of the whole situation until we get back to the zone. And then give me some confirmation. That's definition of harmonic pattern framework. Anyway, I'm sucking down my second pot of coffee right now. A very rainy, flooding Miami afternoon, but we need it. All good. Kind of nice, you know, little chill. It's been blazing down here. So that's the deal. We'll keep on playing that. Everyone else is just looking at all-time new highs. Okay, they're just saying, all right, well, obviously we're going to go back and retest that now. When all the geniuses were saying, okay, end of the world. Oh my God. Well, no, it was a perfect type 1 reaction. That's it. And now we go. My only question from this point forward is, do we fail? Like, forget the news, turn off your TV, turn off, stop reading the stories from all of the top traditional media because they're worthless. And you guys start thinking for yourselves, line up the patterns, get the software, right? Get the software. Who needs the software? Who is in here that doesn't have the software? Okay, first person to type HPC 30, I'm going to set you up 30 days. Let's stop screwing around. If you guys are coming here to learn the framework, follow what we do, okay, you need software. You're going to lose money without it. You try to trade harmonic patterns, you can learn them by hand. If not, go ahead. You need a discount on the software, contact me. All right? What's up, Mo? Mo P is our first winner of the day. Mo P, you need to hit me up on the Discord. That's where I get connected. And everybody else, look, I'm going to put the link in the chat, but get over to our Discord. Even more resources over there. Okay? And again, you want to connect with me on the Discord, you want a free trial to something, I'm easygoing about this. There's reasons why I do this. I mean, I should get into the whole story, including getting sued for $4 million by some a-hole. Look it up. I should cover that because, look, it goes deep. When you got something that works and then everybody wants to kind of steal it, which was like 10 years ago, and claim that they created it, it kind of pissed me off. That's one of the main reasons why I came back here. Offered the software. I wasn't going to let harmonic patterns burn in the hands of scammers. Yeah, I'm a little lit today, guys. I'm a little lit. I'm kind of channeling the energy of overall frustration into effort, which I recommend everyone does. Turn it all off. Take that frustration, take your dissatisfaction or whatever, and study your ass off. Get in deep because now's the time. If it's Bitcoin, if it's the major markets, whatever, now's the time. Like, if we get through this and we fail this on the type 2, look out. I will say this as well. It's part of the thing that I'm looking for, especially on this monthly chart. I'm looking for a massive bullish engulfing candle this month that not only closes above 6,008 on the S&P, but I would say we're like 200 higher and we close above the hop. These are going to be things that we will talk about on the 20th. That's right. There's some things, especially for you younger folks, I should share with you guys in terms of like what to be thinking about in terms of saving your money, how to be setting yourself up longer term. If it's Roth IRA or HSA accounts, like if you don't have those basics covered, maximize, that's probably where the place to start. I'll share some resources maybe later in the week. Get ahead of the game, kids. All right? Get serious about where you're at. Because if we're going to do this, and this ends up being what I think it possibly could be, you guys know what my major targets are. And I really liken what's happening here to what happened in gold at 2,500. But again, the big levels right here, we're at the 1618, 1902 hop. All right? And then What is beyond this is it's an acceleration phase where next stop is 2618, and then we'll take it even higher. Gonna take it higher. 7600. That's a 314, kids. We've seen it. You smell it? You feel it? You got it? If you know where you are in the framework and on this map, and we know that acceleration phase really starts probably after this month, or at least get through the hop level, you got nothing but air, which is absolutely the opposite of what all these idiots were saying 2 months ago. Well, what's up, Mr. Aurora? Tell us a way, he's asking, to get to know harmonics. Well, there's really just get with over here. Again, get over Harmonic Trader. It's all free. Dive in there for 2 weeks, guys. You don't have to, no credit card required. It's kind of the Grateful Dead taping strategy of, you know, killing all the competitors and disseminating the information without some kind of financial barrier. Because once you learn the framework, you don't lose it. It's a lifelong skill where you can read the markets and understand where the opportunities are. Just like the type 1 reaction at 48.73 on the SPY. And that's why I say this is the single greatest harmonic pattern I've ever seen. And you guys know, okay, I've been doing this longer than anybody. Longer than anybody. Why? I created it. That's it. Yeah, other people were doing MW, XABCD stuff, but not like what we defined into a category of patterns, confirmation strategies, targets, that level. Get with it. You know, Mitch Ray's the only guy in the harmonic space, and Ponzi too, which are two regular guys on our chat. Get with those two guys. But other than that, I see these videos on YouTube. Guys citing, they don't even know. I saw a video yesterday, it really set me off. And I should tell the whole story sometime of like when the ideas first came out and how people tried to claim, oh yeah, I taught Scott that, or oh, I created that. But let's get to the charts. That's for maybe another discussion where we're drinking some beers. Right now, it's all about the coffee and watching this thing rocket higher. Big stuff is happening. I just can't, it's just so amazing what we're looking at. And now the daily's like this. We're up here. We have this crab pattern from back in December. Now we were looking for that retracement. I mean, we were 6 weeks in front of this thing. I was like, yeah, guys, I think we're going to come down, minimum target 2, looking for a dot here, and then we just did the massive flush. This is going to end up being one of these looping return moves, okay, where 60.92 has to be retested. Has to be. That's the framework in action. And if not, dare I say higher than that. We're going to watch what happens today because let's blow up on it. We had confirmation like 2 to 3 days ago here. And what did it do? It was a 2-day pause. Get higher. Okay, get above 6,000. Give me a fat close above 6,000 and let's go. I'm telling you, June is the month. June's going to tell us all about the next 6 months, and it's going to possibly, very likely, tell us about the next 2 years. That's how important this time is. Well, Mr. Aurora, then you have to DM me, because if you're struggling, you're either missing some major strategy elements, and I haven't seen you in our Discord gold chat. So you DM me there. I'll set you up. I will get you on the straight and narrow within a week. Send me a message. I'll hook you up. And to the winner, absolutely as well. Get over there. So that's the deal. Okay? Trend is up. Targets are higher. We are certainly in a type 2 retest, which is it's just phenomenal. But that whole process started yesterday. Why? Because Friday was the official close of the monthly bar, and even when you hit the zone, it's not official until the bar closes. What you're looking for on the type 2 test, if you're wanted to be bearish as well, we need to see a bearish candle for starters. And we go to the weekly, break it down here. This is the thing to be monitoring. HSI, Harmonic Strength Index. It's only available on this platform or any of the other HPC platforms. Okay, we need to get that clipped. To do that, you're going to have to move higher. And even if, let's say we were to roll over right here, I wouldn't even be concerned with this current return move until amplified RSI rolls over. That's still higher. So a lot going on. I mean, these are the things that's what I do. Okay, I'm trying to mint great harmonic traders. And how do I do that? I show you great opportunities, how to be looking at this stuff, kind of follow along until, with the training wheels on the bike, until you're ready to ride yourself. And so many people get that. It doesn't take long. You just need to know what to look at. So S&P 500, we're good. The other consideration is that if we're going to be super strong, and this speaks to the next 2-3 weeks, we are not going to break a prior week low. And so for S&P right now, that's 58.13. Trailing stop, that's pretty easy, yeah. At current levels though, 58.67 for this weekly candle is an important pivot point. Not even concerned until anything like that happens. What if we fail? So here's the kind of the precedent. And I want to go to the monthly. I've mentioned this before, but now we're so close. And we got to focus on this, that we're here. We've got several numbers here. Again, don't even consider the bearish situation until we get one candle, one bar, one agreement bar, as I like to call it, meaning a bearish candle agrees with the pattern. We had it here on the first test, where the first completion was back in July, but you didn't even get the first candle on the monthly chart until October. Then confirmation came in December into January. That's how we got the trigger to turn the pattern into an opportunity. Without confirmation, it's just a pretty picture. But we go back. Okay, we've had patterns from the past. We have ones that have worked and ones that have not. Here's an example of a major pattern monthly. And again, I will be featuring this on the 20th that failed. And once it failed, once we took it out, the character changes. Butterfly right here. Go back to 2014. It's beautiful. I mean, all the configurations you need. X, A, B at a 786. C, D with an ABCD. Right at the hop level. What does it do? I mean, you had confirmation here too. Okay, let's blow up the zone, because this is exactly the kind of character we're looking for, which a bypass of the zone, no other confirmation, and in fact, where the zone itself, once violated, becomes support. And then once you violate that, also, real simple kind of strategy consideration, 30 bars. Okay, 30 bars after the pattern completes. That's the permissible window. And then what happens after that? It's sideways to higher. But where did the real failure happen? After the 30 bars, goodbye. And off you go. And this is really, I think, ideal to where we're at currently. But I would think it's even a little bit different because this situation did not have the type 1. It was a type 1 failure. Those are, I think they're not as common as a type 2 failure. And then we go back to, where are we going? 2008. I got to switch this up, remove the contract here. Okay, then we go to 2008, which had, where'd you go? I think I got to go on the SPY. We had something on 2008, and this one had the type 1, type 2, a little bit better. I think here you go on the SPY itself, not the futures, but the SPY. Okay, perfect type 1. And I would say this is the closest example, monthly chart, S&P, dot configuration, type 1 that actually went to target 2. But what happens on the return? Notice the type of trend this develops. The fact that every weekly bar is just a higher high, higher low. We go to the hop level. Then we put in some kind of HSI, and it just says, no thanks. It just wants to keep going. This is the only possibility. If we're looking higher and we want this thing to continue, it has to be in this fashion. And since we're already there, okay, let me blow it up. If we're in the zone right now, the comparable, unbelievable, SPY, the hop level was 174. We're looking at something like this, where you go higher and higher and higher, maybe a 1-2 week pause, but notice there's no 3-bar breakdown. There's nothing there. And so that's what I'm currently looking for on this pattern. We have a type 2. I think it's a phenomenal situation here, mainly because the type 1 reaction was not only so strong and reversed exactly at target 1, but it just is going to be, I think people are going to go back and look at that one candle as just a massive shakeout. People not looking at harmonic patterns are going to say, okay, that was a shakeout, first quarter, first 100 days, and then everything was fine and off to the races. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm definitely encouraged by what we see here, and now I want to see the hop get taken out. Hop is harmonic optimal price, 618. You got that. That's right, Snipes. Ignore the shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas, and just focus on the pattern framework. And if you're new and you're not sure, just describe to yourself what you see. Are we in a type 1 reaction? Are we in a type 2 return? And what are the things that we need to qualify? If this was an end-all, be-all type 2 where we're looking for the reversal, we need a couple things there. Confirmation, individual price bar, agreement behavior, and then we would consider something. I would say I'm of the opposite opinion, especially because a lot of our readings here were well above the 50. We have not been below the 50 level. I mean, geez, last time we cracked under the 50 level was April 22. So we have to watch this closely, carefully. This is a huge month coming our way. No matter what. Still up. Still up. If I'm 100% wrong, okay, we'll still have plenty of time to make the changes. For now, ride it up into the zone. You got to keep playing that. All right, a couple of the big boys. Something like, I don't know, Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft. I've talked about this last time. This is after a monthly pause going back to 2024. This is a massive breakout deal. HSI just triggered. Guys, that's a monthly chart. That's a monthly oversold on Microsoft. We don't get those too often. The other thing I recommend, like once you get the software, or if you are just new with the software and you want to go back and get a deep dive, just look at historic patterns. Okay? I mean, the last time we had HSI was all the way back in 22. What was different is that we signaled and then we retested only to get a dot. I mean, it's not easy. This HSI is a little bit different. It wants to send it higher now. No check back here. I mean, look, what this means really is the economy is fine. Companies are still growing at a rapid rate. They're going to add $4 trillion to the deficit, to the debt. Okay, and that doesn't even include the interest. I talked about that last time. The easy money has already returned. And that's a surprise. I mean, look, I have an accounting degree. I hated economics classes because I thought it was just all dry sandpaper stuff. But this is stuff people are not talking about. Surprisingly, the bill that's going to go through for the next budget is going to be incredibly inflationary. That's going to require more easy money to print it, and that means valuations are going to continue to go higher. Money's going to continue to flood into this, and it's going to the big boys, the Mag 7 and the established companies that are ingrained in this society will continue to get more money from the government, from people. That this 10-year uptrend does not stop. It's, if anything, you're on the verge of a massive acceleration. Check out Nvidia. I mean, this is loco, guys. Nvidia is giving us the perfect monthly, monthly, guys. Monthly HSI continuation on Nvidia. A no-brainer, right? AI. He's going to need those chips for those billion robots he's going to build. Can't wait to get one. Hey, go make me coffee, robot. Bring it back. Okay, go do the wash. I mean, that's what they're talking. I just care about the patterns and the signals. Folks, that's a massive continuation on Nvidia. Where does it go? Minimum price discovery expansion to a 1618. If not an entirely new cycle to continue. Let's book Nvidia. You heard it here now. Get in front of it. Target Nvidia 195. Let's bring in 1902. Overlap that. There you go. 210. Those are my targets. Nvidia, all you need really is like a close above last month's high. Anything above 144, you shoot the gap. Call it 200. Yes, I said that. It's, that's how nice of a setup this is. We've seen it before. Okay, what are the last HSI signals on the monthly? Oh, all the way down there at 22. Split adjusted 14 for Nvidia. Then it goes 10x in 2 years. What about all the way back here? September 19. That was 4 for the good 35x. 35x. Look, there's a lot of other plays. Nvidia is a safe play where, you could fat finger long it. Even if it drew, had another 10% drawdown, I don't care. This thing is going to bust the highs and you're going to continue. If it's either this month or in 3 months or 6 months, it's not a year. It's not a year. This stuff is fuego. Fuego. Okay? You guys know I've been saying this for a while. And we had on the daily patterns galore. All the way down here, remember the bat pattern? And then we were retesting the deep crab. Now here's the interesting thing. We have a bat pattern right now on the daily. It's, we've moved. The low here was 87, so Do the math. You're up 60% off the low. There's a big bat pattern here, 141. Okay, it just completed 3 days ago. Still need to retest that dot. All of that's like 142, 143. And look at what, again, this is the method. Go through it. Okay, look at what's happening here. On the daily, HSI is about to challenge and go above the 50 line. Meanwhile, Amplified decided to go back up into the zone, has not been below the 50 level since, what was that, April 23rd? It's a long way away. I think in this case, we're going to run to the hop level, 157 on this push, but the longer term targets remain. Meanwhile, we are about to go, we're almost at, S&P's at new highs for the day, and I think we probably pierce 6,000 this afternoon. There you go. On the daily. There's the daily. We could be failing that signal, but here's the other thing. Go to the 5-minute basis. Okay. There you go. It just, when we have dots, again, apply a 3 to 5 window. Any time frame, if it's monthly, if it's 5 minute, within 3 to 5 bars, you're getting the reaction or lack thereof of what you need to see. This is higher, and look, HSI is going back up. Guys, there's nothing here. Break it down on the hourly, it's even more dramatic. I mean, look at this stuff. We had an overnight signal on the hourly at 59.20. You're 70 higher currently. And again, this is all about expansion where you're firmly up above the zone, expanding. What do we have? Maybe an 886 from last week. That's what everyone else is looking at, which is like 6,010. That could be 20 higher today. S&P is up 40. NASDAQ's up 200. And we got 3 hours to go. Yeah, I could be. What's up, Red Pill? He says a global melt up. Yeah, I think what you have, I mean, everyone's complaining about the bond market. No, you have massive refinancing that has to go down. How are they going to do that? More paper. Just like they did it in 2020, 2010, to a lesser extent 22. But this does not stop. It doesn't stop. There you go. That hourly of 57.88. That was what, 10 days ago? Absolutely. A lot to talk about. So those are the major markets. A quick peek at the Dow because it's so harmonic. The Dow, we know 42,000 was the big number. Daily, weekly patterns. I think it's weekly and monthly. This is like the SPY. And this is another one where it's good to look at this because this as well is on the weekly, the same crab, very similar crab as the SPY. We're fully 37,292. That's what we talked about back in April as the target, where it was really clear. It was either target 1 or a full flush to 2. But as soon as we were stabilizing, and we go. I would say Dow, 43, 43.1 to even retest any kind of potential confirmation line up here. So also take a look at what's going on. Looking at HSI and Amplified, look, again, we're breaking above the 50 on the weekly. That's a big deal. A push, a strong close by Friday, and we get above that, that should set it free for the rest of the month. It's real close. Also, you guys know I like 3-bar reversal patterns, continuation patterns. You could maybe draw out a little flag here, like that. Little 3-week pause, and now we're trying to push higher. Okay, the real number is up here. I would say above 42.9. So track all of those. Absolutely, amazing framework unfolding. And even if I knew something, I knew something was coming, or Trump was not going to do taco tariffs, I would still be looking for confirmation. Okay, until I saw some kind of breakdown. Look, we're going to ride this higher. I would say 43, 44, maybe even full hop test. Also, markets are only up about 4 or 5% for the year. What are they going to do? I was saying in the beginning of the year, I thought these markets would do another 20% this year after they did the type 1 retracement, which became really a retrenchment, something a little deeper, but it was the plan all along. Absolutely. No, but I can look at the Russell for a second here because it's a similar deal. Is that going to ever play catch up? IWM. It's this big bat pattern. You're in a return phase. Okay, the bat pattern. This was pretty interesting because it was so nice. Got rejected off the 886. And I would still say we're in a type 2 return, 235. Monthly basis is like this, okay? Just squeeze between some dots. That's all. And it's amazing how these are really defining for the Russell. And the Russell, I think, is going to be the signal where the whole thing goes gangbusters. You get the Russell 2000. This is the IWM ETF. Look, if that breaks out, that means you have 2,000 stocks favoring a massive monthly continuation. But your levels are here. Prior dot, 224. Bearish, bullish dot here at 185. Believe it or not, that was the one candle. That was the shakeout candle from March into April. You hit it and you reversed. Still, the 3 to 5 bar window comes into play. Like, how do I know? How do I know this is of significance? Well, you retested it in dramatic fashion, and then 1-2 candles green, V-shape in recovery already starting. All signs point to up. Get the magic 8 ball out. All signs point to yes. Okay, a couple of big stocks, and then we'll get to, the bad boy Bitcoin. I've got some thoughts on Bitcoin and the rest of it, but I wanted to show a couple I've mentioned before. Guys, Robinhood, I'm long substantially. I have brought this up prior. Guys, this is Palantir before the breakout. Palantir currently 130. Robinhood, 72.50, up 460 today. I've been talking about this for a while, that we connect the dots on the monthly. X, A, B, C. Break it out, go to the 127. It's a butterfly structure. That's 105-ish. It's like that. 105, 110. I'm not selling. Weekly, even better. And then the daily, this is where your type 1s, they get away from you. Explosive type 1s, they're not easy to read. But we had a butterfly down there at the low in April. That was 30, now 70. Why would you buy something that has more than doubled in 8 weeks? Because it's busting resistance. It's on a rope. Okay? Just continuing that massive move higher. Nice stuff, though. Couple more. I have to say that, I'm looking for Meta, and Meta's not going to come back for the bat. I really thought maybe Meta would come back to 570 one more time and give me a shot? Nope. We are at target 2 on that daily, so here's where acceleration phase can start to happen maybe tomorrow on Meta. And again, just if you're not long, follow it, because if Meta's going to be on a rope and we close above 670, this isn't about even 670, even about all-time new highs. We're looking at the massive continuation, like 750, 800 and higher. A lot going on. I do need to show you as well the SOX index. I showed you guys Nvidia. The SOX is the other place to look at for these semiconductors. SOX did something quite interesting. Gave us a high-level HSI a couple days ago. Right there, we had a type 1 on the daily. Looks like this. Okay, it was a deep crab. Amazing, 34.53. But this one went through the type 1. But what happened? We let a lot of air out of the tires just over the course of about 5-7 sessions. And we have an HSI right there on the 27th, so a week ago today. 47.91 was the check back. Yesterday's low, 47.86. Why do I bring this up? Well, we have one bar, green bar today. We get a green bar tomorrow. You are actually going to have a bullish dot at a rather high level where target 2 is the obvious situation. If not, all the way back up to the higher resistance where you're looking for 10% higher across the board on these semiconductors or more. That could start tomorrow. We'll look at that on Thursday. A lot, really, look, these are the in-between reads. These are the in-between little signals. HSI is only something really in the last 10 years. It is my advancement on relative strength that works well with the patterns. It's like a harmonic relative strength. But that's how we know. And it lines up with this indicator, HSI. That's oversold, trending back above it. And then again, look at amplified RSI. That's the other proprietary indicator. Where is that? Above 50, going up again. There's no short. Not yet, not for many more sessions until that would roll over and break down. And you have a lot of things. I mean, you've got, amazing tech companies, things that we have talked about in the past. And now let's just a quick run through, like KLAC, coming off massive daily, weekly structures. The shark to crab, it did the 1-2. And now KLAC, this is a big deal. You guys hold me to this, okay? We have another dot, just like what I was saying on the SOX index. Today, we have a bullish dot at a high level. That's a big deal. What we typically see is a continuation, and again, above like 800, 810. We fail that crab, you're going to move to new highs. And this is coming off of, okay, remember this? Big crab pattern, deep crab. That's why you've been capped. That's why this hasn't done much really since July of 2024. Now it's the breakout move. And this trend channel, all these tech trend channels that truly started with this character like 5 years ago. We could probably go further back, but I mean, KLAC was 140. Now it's 776. Where does it go from here? Okay, if we're going to go to all-time new highs, which is my long-term assumption, just paste 1618. These are going to go 1618 price discovery longer term. It's not going to happen this year. Take it into next year. But that's what's developing. The other one is ASML. And these are ones that I've talked about previously. ASML 746. Big shark on the weekly. It's a 2 of 2. 600, 597 was the massive low. I think you're at 844 pretty quickly. There you go. Yep. Intel to a lesser extent. That's what's up, Chip Flipper. Yeah, Intel has been a laggard. You're saying monthly dot? Well, it's a type 2 deep crab. 2083 is your number. We're holding in there. I mean, this has got to come off this level, but you've got weekly and monthly bullish patterns down here. We need to see some development. I mean, this is clearly not the trending one like KLAC or ASML, but you do have a monthly massive possibility where if HSI can push higher, so it's only going to take a strong monthly candle to do that. That should send it a lot like what we had last time back in 23, maybe to a lesser extent here in 19. But this little jig move above HSI, if we do that and we can just break out in that reading, that's a big deal. I'm still in my position. I got in early. I told you guys that I'm underwater on 500 shares, about 5K. But I'm thinking I'm gonna probably add into this once we get those other confirmed signals higher. I like what I see. No lie. I like what I see. And even in the short term, this June is going to be a strong month. We get to the end of the month, then we can see how far we came, or if we really actually fulfilled what we need to have happen. But the lows need to be in. That's a good one too. What's up, Mr. Smith? AMD, and that's maybe now it's time. Why? AMD was a laggard. We were looking at that like 120, 110, 100. We never got confirmation. It was a daily pattern. Okay. Back here. Down here, like 114-ish. We never got the reaction. And again, the weekly confirmation was like that, where we finally got the bat at 79. The other thing about AMD, because it's been in almost an 18-month downtrend, but this is potentially setting up like the last bat pattern, okay, where we got a nice recovery move. This could be the same. I think 134, just not there yet. And a monthly is a bigger deal. The monthly is a big deal because of this HSI. It's the first HSI on the monthly we have seen that's bullish since 2017, and that's okay. AMD was trading $10, goes to 200. If we read the harmonic signals and we ask ourselves, where are we within the framework, you're going to get a lot of answers quickly. Like Broadcom. Broadcom's going a lot higher, kids. All-time new highs. And remember the Gartley down here? Or the bat pattern at 148. Now we're 250. 148, April 3rd. 8 weeks later, 9 weeks later, 252, 254. And it's failing. It's failing because we're up here at the hop level. We had confirmation, no dot. Look for that to just blast through. Oh, that's Thursday. Thursday earnings. Earnings are going to start. That's the other reason why you're starting to see this acceleration. Look, the companies are going to come out with earnings. They got totally mispriced first quarter of the year. I mean, people were throwing the stuff away, but nothing really changed. Everyone made assessments that, oh, okay, based on what financial media is telling me, we should revalue all of these companies when, in fact, they were continuing to grow. That's why you get the snapback. Where can Broadcom go? Why not do a 1618 price discovery advance? What's that? 322. Hold me to it. Call it 325. Yep. What about Tesla? Been screwing around the 350 level. Still long. Nothing changes. Now we're back to 353. We're at target 1 with the dot. Are we going to get a return move? I don't think so. I mean, we have to watch this. As long as amplified on the daily for Tesla holds up and continues higher, the true breakout where we could get back to 400 is above 365, 370. A lot going on there as well. Here's a new one. It's a trender. I brought this up before. T-Mobile. It looks like it's ready. HSI from 2 weeks ago, but the 4 hour is even nicer. This reminds me of Broadcom. Okay. Go back, about a month? Not even. What was that? 3 weeks ago. We had ideal type 2 on the 4 hour with confirmation. 240 is the number. Currently 243. You're up today. But this is another example of long-term trending stock, 4 hour pattern within that channel. And it's just a matter of time. Go to the 4 hour. We're back above the 50. And your other kind of big confirmation that you're looking for is strong candle close that takes us back up where we can start moving into the overbought area again. 262. That's target 2. Doesn't stop. Nothing stops. We keep running. A couple more. Okay. We just did Tesla. What's up, Nick? How are you today? We'll get to BTC in a second. Or maybe we segue with a little MicroStrategy. We could look at Square too, Block, whatever that is. MicroStrategy's here. It's up today. Why is it up? Well, look at the 4 hour chart. You guys know what I was saying about 4 hour time frames. The 4 hour time frames at this point are your friend, and you're looking for stuff like that. Bullish dot, HSI triggered about, what was that? Back on Thursday. I think we talked about that. We got a dot yesterday, and now we start to go. I think back to 420, 425, yeah. At least within this dot to dot range. But that's, a good example of sizing up your favorite market, crypto, whatever it is, and looking for this kind of stuff. Looking for that little retracement dot, and then you go again. It doesn't change on, look, the daily weekly scenario for this is still a full retest of the all-time highs around 525, because that's the big all-time 1618. We're treating that as like a type 2 return, if not higher. I mean, look, we're coming into it. What do we have? What do you guys think we have? 4 more months before the crypto cycle? Crypto Olympics are over for this year? Is it October? Is it December? Do we go into January? Because it should be, if that's does get fulfilled, the Bitcoin post-halving Olympic cycle prophecy gets fulfilled, then, 1618 back to 525 should be pretty easy for MicroStrategy. Or don't they call that B strategy now? He changed the name of the company. And then we see all of those other Bitcoin treasury plays. You know what? That would be a good one. You guys shill me some Bitcoin treasury plays. Here's MetaPlanet. Where's this going? Because MetaPlanet came out at $1, $2. Now 10. This is another one where we want to follow it on the 4-hour. This is a dangerous chart right here because you had a massive maniac move. Come on back down. Look at the 4-hour. Dot, HSI above the 50, amplified firmly above the 50. This is Metaplanet, kids. It's all I know is they bought a bunch of Bitcoin. And all the knuckleheads are going to chase this as it goes higher and higher, just simply on that. Where I would look for something like this is, what's the obvious target? Come on back, retest HSI. Like, that's like 13. That's why Hood is up. Coinbase is up. A couple more. What's up, Carthago? MSTY. Misty. Misty, what is Misty? Oh, this is the MicroStrategy yield play. Gotcha. I've seen a couple of variations on this. I mean, again, I don't know. As an old fart, I guess I'm really not. I guess these new assets are going to work. The Title Trust Yield Max MicroStrategy Option Income ETF. How the hell? I have no idea what that is, but I can tell you what's there. It's a bullish dot. Target 2 off the shark to 50 is 2208. You're 2248. Probably worth a shot for a return move back to 43, 47. I can play that. I don't know. I probably better just to play MicroStrategy straight up. Couple more. What's up? Mr. Incredible is in the house. Wants to look at, what is it? ASST? That's a Bitcoin treasury play? Yikes. Look at that. Man, where were you in April? We could have picked that up for 50 cents. Give me 100,000 of those. But there's opportunity. Give me a dot. Oh, look, there's a dot right there. $7. If you know something about this, let me know. If I was going to trade this and look to maybe catch the next wave, because this is all insanity here. I mean, gap up, go higher, gap up, go higher, can't even fill it. Should continue from here. What about on the 4-hour? Are we above the 50 level? Not yet. That's probably the only thing I'm looking for. Get above the 50 and then we go. She'll go. And yeah, what about, what is that CEP? Because the CEP, wasn't that, I thought that was Cantor Fitzgerald. I got to look into these a bit more. I do think, look, it doesn't even have to be that big of a deal. Oh, that's a nice chart. That's Cantor Equity Partners. What did they do? Did they do a big Bitcoin buy? And what would be your number one treasury play here? Because, geez, that's 8. Now you're 45. I mean, it's tough because you're up 500%. But this looks like, it looks like it wants to do what MicroStrategy did. You could call that bull flag. Yeah, up here against that. Path of least resistance on the 4-hour chart still says check back the dot at 49. And if you're going to do something crazy, I don't know. What's the market cap? Oh, boy. See, incredible. I got to look at this. Because market cap is only 484 million. And with the way these are going, they all could just borrow more money and buy Bitcoin and run it. The other one is GME, kids. GME's out there buying Bitcoin. Could Mr. Kitty finally have his day with GME? I think just the fact that people are going to buy Bitcoin with this is enough of a story to get people to FOMO. And the daily looks like this on GME. You had that big move up, but it's a type 1 on the deep crab at 30 bucks. We hit the target 1. So minimum move for GME from here, 30 should hold. You get to 35 or even 39, and I don't want to even think about. I believe that all history matters. Okay, they've got earnings next Tuesday. All history matters. And look what happened when they did that crazy move back in March. This is all in play. This price range up to 65. We could see something like there, even if we're just going to connect dots. And that could have been a crazy wick. Somebody trying to run it, market buy at $60 on 100 shares because they're long 10,000. But if I'm connecting dots, 886 is like 60 bucks, 59. That's on the weekly. And then we go further back to the mania that was 2021 with all the meme stocks. This stuff matters. It has been a long drag. Respect to Mr. Kitty, because he's held throughout, and I didn't know how he came up with his valuations, but technically, what I like about the chart, again, this is a weekly, probably even better on a monthly, but look, there's the first low, and that was a year ago. And then we have a secondary, a tertiary low, weekly HSI dot. And really, since that initial low, this is the first higher HSI signal. That stuff matters. Where you could theorize, strategize that this is a confirmation low. Inflection low, confirmation low with a higher HSI. You get above that B point, you start a BAM, bad action magnet move. I'm not long yet, but I'm ready to start accumulating a position in GME. It looks like to me the 4-hour wants to fail. Earnings next week, so maybe what they do is come out with more information. Hey, we got another billion, 2 billion. We're going to just keep buying Bitcoin nonstop. And this matters in terms of a failed pattern, which when I started out today, that was one of the things I was showing everybody of a counter trend HSI. Bearish pattern, confirmation there, and then what happens? 3 bars later, we get a bullish HSI at a higher level than the prior May reading, pushes it up. Another one, push it up, come down, another one. This is well before any kind of acceleration phase, but it's close. So GME, finally, I know a bunch of people were asking me about this 2 months ago, and I was kind of like, yeah, you need more development here. Well, now you've got it. And the monthly is just, I think you pull up the monthly chart. We probably have to get above 35 to get into that acceleration phase, or 36, but it's close. I like what I see, and maybe for the first time since 2021, it's a go. Yeah, what's up, Greg? Welcome. How you doing? They did have, the GME thing was a phenomenon in 2021. I was in the AMC. I caught the AMC move, but I only caught it to like 14. I didn't catch it. Oh, and it's got all this split adjusted stuff. Is AMC buying Bitcoin, guys? I mean, I'm not a fan because I again, talk about development. We really don't have the kind of development like you see on GME. They're just dragging down here at $2-3. I'd rather be GME. That's got better development than what you're seeing in AMC. But yeah, I caught this move. off the deep crab back. It was 20, yeah, it was in 20 September to November and caught it up to T2. And then he slammed it all the way back down, got stopped out before the massive move. But I made a boat. I had calls. I had like the 7s, 6s. Pre-split. Pre-split. But yeah, it's we'll get to S coins in a second, but I'm interested in looking at any of those because I do think if we get the Bitcoin move, then they're going to run. We don't see the miners moving yet, mainly because maybe it's just easier just to borrow a ton of money and just buy the Bitcoin. Now, let's go to Bitcoin really quick. A major thing did develop yesterday. We had HSI. We have a counter signal after the shark. So we've been dealing with this shark for the better part of a week or more, which has been phenomenal. We're still 112 to 106. 105 is the range within this 30-day window. That's what we said a week or so ago, and the 30-bar window is around the 20th when we have our webinar. What do we glean from this? Read the chart. Well, T1, that's the pause. Typically, yes, we look for target 1, unless we get HSI, and we got HSI. We also got the check back yesterday. So you need to see 1, maybe today, and then 1 more green candle. If we get a green candle, we need 2. 1 today, 1 tomorrow. We'll come in here Thursday, all right, and I would be looking for then an immediate retest back up into the zone. We need 1 more green bar. Today has to be green. Tomorrow has to be green. And we'll be here Thursday talking about, okay, how do we assess this? Is this going to fail? That would be the strongest move, but we're already getting a counter HSI signal where this might be it for now. We are, 3, 6, 9, about 14 days into this thing. Halfway through almost that window. And what do we see? We see a counter oversold signal right there. And the other critical reading here is amplified RSI on the 50. We had a dunk down. We need to get that turned back up. This is why today and tomorrow those green candles are critical. HSI not above the 50 yet either. So we're early on this. I need to see 2 more days. We're still in type 1 reaction mode. If we get a dot, we get HSI going back above the 50, okay, then we really do have something of significance that it could be the start. We talked about this last week. Okay, when are we going to moon on Bitcoin? And what does moon mean? I said Bitcoin moon is 155 to 210,000. But we need a pattern looking left. We need a harmonic phenomenon looking left. We need to get this shark. Preferably, I would have loved to seen shark to 5.0 here. When Ponzi was on, he said, well, is that a possibility? And I said, yeah, but the only problem with the shark, we were looking at the 886. We needed a 1618 advance. So we got that. That was 110, 111. So it was a few bars later, a few days later. But now I'm watching here closely. And 115 is still the move. 115 is still the limit before we can really assess that parabolic expansion. And I think it's going to happen quickly. Once we get above 115, we said this last week, I think it was a week ago on Tuesday, where we outlined what that should look like, but it's just not there quite yet. And I do think that ideally, if we did a type 1 and then failed it, just that would be the most ideal situation. Doesn't have to happen. And if we get a dot, like let's say we're here on Thursday, I don't expect us to move a heck of a lot. Maybe we're 105 or we're 107. I need two mild green candles. That would set us up. It would put us in a situation much like what we had back in January, where we had bearish pattern, counter dot. The dot came in a few days later and it sent it back up. It was not the breakout, but it sent it for at least, what's that, like $15,000 higher? I was like 92 to 108, 107-ish. And I would think the same thing. We would go dot to dot. But dot is incoming because we've already retested yesterday. And then you need two green candles beyond that. All good. Yeah, we can look at Ethereum. We can look at that. It's not my favorite, and I'm not. I don't know. Outside of Bitcoin, guys, there's not a lot really. There's a couple, but there are not a lot of things really get me going in terms of nice looking charts that have really clear development. I know everyone's saying Ethereum's going to make it back to 4,000 and then 6,000. I'm not one of them. Maybe we get to 3,400, target 2. But you got to remember, we're also running out of time. Like all of this stuff, this post-halving stuff, in general, I think the consensus is that it's going to be over by the end of the year, just based on history. But wouldn't we have to do a big move first? So looking at that for Ethereum in the short term, yeah, maybe 28.52. We're already stalling out. And the weekly basis is like this. Dot to dot. And where are we weekly? We're overbought currently. So watch this for a rollover. We're expanding now, but you're a 3-bar breakdown. Let's say Ethereum closes, keep this in mind, under 2350. That's your number for Ethereum going forward. Has to hold 2350, has to continue higher, but watch out. If it doesn't, and we do kind of a rollover move like that, that's probably it. There are better candidates, and I'm thinking of narrowing my list to maybe 2 or 3, and Stellar Lumens is one. I'm thinking maybe it's time to scratch it. Can we get that? Can we get that to go higher, or is this going to languish or continue to languish? You're down here. You're trying to break out, and remember this daily pattern. I talked about this last week. Time's pretty much up, and we're 27.5, which is slightly above my basis. Not a lot, and I wanted to see this bust the move above 30, and it didn't. So we got to go. We got to go now, and so watch this. If it flares out, like let's say we're here Thursday and we're still not doing anything, then this could flare out again. Look, one of the things that are truly trending in the crypto space, and I mentioned this last time, and I'm not long it. I admire it, but Tron, that's a trending beast. That's real nice bullish development. Nobody's selling that. The last daily HSIs, okay, that held quite strong. You had the better part of 3-4 months to hammer out this support at 22, 23. Now we're up here at 27, and then the 4-hour chart, that's what I said last time. Look for that, and what did it do? We put in a dot, and we're up here probably holding. I don't, I see this thing continuing, not failing under 26 or even under 25, and you break out above 28, it's gone. I mean, that's one. I don't even think Solana, which is probably the favorite alternative, it's like that. Solana's back at 156. Nice deep crab. We said that. Said that last time, but remember, Solana is all about this weekly crab that last week printed an HSI, bearish. So maybe we come back, retest like 179, 180. But this is, at least it's trending, but it's not the same character as Bitcoin, Tron. At least it's still pointed up. But it's not blasting through. This should be doing a firm return to 227. It's just not. Maybe we get up there, but believe me, we get up there. If we got to 227 and we flared out, maybe in a month or two, I'd be concerned. Because you have a lot of these setting up for a type 2 return. One or two more, we've seen things like the privacy coins. Anybody comment on why privacy coins? Aave, Maker, Zcash. They're finding a big bid. Maker's up almost 10% today. Yes, it's a weekly bat. That was beautiful. Full 886 reset. 2023, you're 500. Amazing. And then less than a year later, you're at 4,000. And then you come all the way back to 900. That's loco. But harmonic terms, we can ride that up for a type 1. Watch out, we're checking back now. 2 red candles, 2 red weekly candles would give you a dot. So I'm not, maybe it's still a type 1 move. Aave, the other one, okay, that's a little bit better. Here you are in a full return to 394. Okay, but got to get above 265. But that's strong. I mean, look, beautiful dot to target 2 and then under target 2, and then you immediately check back at 140 and you start the return move. That's the kind of behavior you want to see. Solana's not doing that. And then, you have like Monero. I mean, these are they're sticking out. Look at that, Monero. Great progress. That's not, XLM's not doing that. I mean, it's interesting because look, XLM, Monero has the similar pattern, this on the weekly. A rather ugly type 1 and then come back for the 2, but the confirmation was delayed over there. Many bars. I mean, you're talking weeks here. If we were to do a 30-week outlay here, it took not 30, but it took. I'll get back here. Sorry about that. What was that low? That low was 83 weeks later. But we don't have a lot of crypto that looks like this. I don't know. Maybe you guys have something. I don't know. A couple more. We did Monero. We can look at others. Sure, we can look at others. Others is another one where others index, I mentioned this before, I think last week. Look, we got big patterns. Weekly, but to me, others clearly failing target one at here at 281, looking for the return move back to 184. Until that happens, this is your T coin index. Maybe S coin. T coins would probably be something even lower, but ideally that's the one too I would look for. I don't think it's ready yet. I really don't. And again, if these were going to rocket, they would be higher. That's the feel I have with this, is that the development you need to see to precede some kind of crazy move is not there yet. A couple more. Yeah, okay, XYZ. I know I missed that on Square, which is kind of a Bitcoin play. Block, Square, isn't that the same thing? Aren't they trying to be a treasury play as well? XYZ has a big shark down here, but the first bullish confirmation was 4 weeks ago, and that was at like 50. The problem is, well, all right, maybe not the problem. Here's something again. A confirmation strategy, always critical. Can you get amplified above the 50 level? Looks like this week's going to confirm it. But I'm watching the fact that HSI is already overbought. Give it a little time. A couple more. Yeah, we'll go to Cardano. No, promising, maybe. Disappointing, definitely. What's up, Alec? Alec, Louisiana in the house, and he wants to look at FET AI. Are these going to run? I think a lot of these look like they want to come back down for a retest. FET's 82, but look what happened on FET. Beautiful. Here we go. Another beautiful pattern. No dot confirmation. And you can't do anything then other than just a little reactive blast. I mean, that was 35, 40 cents at the low. XA11 is 57, but how many bars are we? And you're not making any progress to target one. You see something like that, you get defensive. It's a perfect counter HSI signal. I'd be of the opinion that send it back down to 57 cents and then talk to me in a couple of weeks. Like, that's what the red arrow to me means. It means all I can do here is a little nubber reaction, and we got overbought pretty quickly, and bring it back down. And look, HSI, yeah, that's rolled over. Amplified, trying to get above the 50. But I would say you're 5 weeks. You pop above that zone and just go sideways. That's kind of harmonic dud territory. What's up, Mr. Affairs? Wants to look at XRP. Will it 10x this year? That's exactly the narrative type of nonsense I'm talking about. I don't know, guys. Because this is probably the most talked about crypto of that it's going to be, they're going to replace the SWIFT, and so they're going to be a $10 trillion market cap or more. And what do we have in the chart? Ever since we hit 270, and 270 is still the big resistance level. I've been talking about that for a long time. And I even hear, people are talking of potentially XRP treasury plays, blah, 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 blah. Ever since this 270 test, how did we get 270? We connect dots. X, get me a nice W formation. A, B point is at a 618 tolerance. It has to be a 618 plus minus 3%. That gets it just really within that 3% is like it's right there. A, B, C, C point, beautiful 886. I mean, that always helps. And then 786 is the final number. And tell me what's going on there. Is it reacting? I'd say so. And if anything, it went to the 886 on that first run, although 786 is the measured number. We can qualify these. X, A, B, C, D. It's a Gartley because of the B point, and you have an A, B, C, D pattern that works. 265, 270, and we were just there. Last week, another kind of little sign that we didn't have. There's not enough strength here to take it out. It's a rejection. Again, another test at 265, 270, rejected down. So you have to really prove it to me. I would say, look, give me something on a 4-hour. I need a 4-hour. I need something on a 4-hour. We had a couple of things down here, 195, as low as 180. And I would still say, retest this shark one more time. We did the type 1. Come on back for the 2. So it's still lower. I don't, 10x on XRP from this level this year. You'd have to, something dramatic, obvious, huge would have to happen for that to take shape. I'm not there. I would be favoring one more retest to 190, 180 before anything. It needs more time. It's like Cardano. Cardano here. We have some things. We have another Gartley. It's a 4-hour. Okay, I really thought we'd be on our way to 95 cents. I really felt like we had triggered a continuation once we got above 84, 85. I was wrong on that. It wanted to come back one more time. We're back at 68. I'm underwater on that, but I'm still playing for 95. If I get back to the 80-something area and we flare out again, I'll probably take it off, but I'll let you guys know. I'll tell you guys I'll tell my gold members first. But I am thinking that if we can get a push off of this Gartley back to like 80 cents, I might just say enough. Now where would I go? I want trending stuff. Here's something. I brought this up previously. I am long Pac G, which I think is the way to play gold. All right. Why? Well, I really like what's going on in gold here. Okay, this trending, I mean, it's amazing what has happened this year already. 26 up to 3,400. Yeah, we have a few things going on. We have a bat pattern here. And we know 3350 on gold index is a big number. Weekly's up here like this. I mean, this has been but this is trending. Guys, this is a trending asset. So you get the benefit of crypto, the benefit of the gold market, where this does not change. We're up there against the top end of the channel for sure. But that's a trending asset. And the spot price on gold's like this, 3350. And I wanted to update this because we're starting to threaten a breakout on the 3350 area. 3350 is the absolute number. If you recall, it's the big top end. It's our historic. It's like this. You go back to this cycle previously. It's the top end of the 1902, 1618. Beyond this, those are the two possibilities, which is like 4,000 and then like 4,600 but only after we get above this 1902. That's like 3,400. It's getting close. There you go. 3,350 is the 1902. It's like a 15-year projection. Once we break that out, and I think it could happen sooner than anticipated, gold does another push higher. I know that sounds crazy, but look at what's going on here. And gold was up yesterday. It was up like 90. It's off 20. It's a mild 20 right now. But we look at the monthly readings here. Okay, we're holding the 50 line on gold. Amplified's expanding. So that there's no confirmation here, and why would it stop? I think after that budget announcement and the fact that, hey, we're not going to be cutting the budget. In fact, we're going to add to the debt. Doesn't even include interest payments. That's why gold's doing what it's doing. Maybe we do a 3-month pause in this larger range. I'm looking for the breakout. That breakout is above 3,400, guys. And the character should change beyond that. Couple more. We did XRP. What it do in 2024? XRP. We already did XRP. Well, we did XRP. We were, I mean, that was one of my big scores last year, but we had patterns there. And then we hit the major targets. That's a good one, son. It is the Hope Crypto. I like that PAX G. You want to be in crypto? I think PAX G's, is, I know it's the gold play, but that's the kind of trend you want to ride. Ondo for Keyser. Let's do a couple more and I got to get out of here. Crypto, Ondo, wasn't it 85 cents? 85? Yeah, 85 cents is, it's a dot, and we have a dot here now. We have a shark. So this would really be the first confirmation because look, it's a delayed dot. The shark completed way back here at 76, but there's confirmation. And I know a lot of people are hot on Ondo. Literally today would be day one where you could possibly see something turn up. But I would still say this is not, I mean, Ondo's made progress, but is this truly trending, or is it like a one-off? It did its speculative move and now coming back? Yeah, maybe. That's the Binance feed. You go back to 2022. I mean, incredible. It's 25 cents. It went to 220. That's your assumption there. You got to hold me to that. Hold me to that, okay? And bring this back up because I do think today at 85 cents is the first day you could look at Ondo. I mean, look at it seriously from a harmonic perspective. And that's all I want to do. I want clear patterns with confirmation. We know that crypto a lot of times will give you delayed confirmation before it really gets going. And even HSI is not above the 50. I'll come back on Thursday on that one. Yeah, okay. One or two more. Pepe and Giga, I'll do those. Look, Pepe, I think we talked about this last time. Had a bearish pattern. Go to target one. Can we come back here? And also the weekly, right? You've got a few reasons why Pepe's not ready yet. Weekly bearish HSI up here. I mean, that's just not what you want to see. And you have the daily crab pattern. Now, that is a type 1, but I would still want to see a dot, which is a check back, and, just not there yet. And then the Giga Chat is, I'm still long that one. That's my true degenerate play. And no confirmation yet, but Look, this 2 cent mark has to hold. And it is so far. But Giga Chad really can't do big numbers until you're back above 3, or you would even say 3.5 cents. It's a sideways grind. And again, this is, I've said this from the beginning, this is super speculative. Okay, just don't overload the position in case it doesn't work out. But you're something like this, you're looking for that to go really target too. Not happening yet. I mean, you need more development. We need HSI to get above the 50 kind of a thing. Again, I scooped it off the low, but I don't like what's going on. I mean, this should be higher now. Not just kind of languishing down here at these lows. I don't know. Couple more. The Lyra Therapeutics, yeah, I saw that. Let's save that for Thursday because I think biotechs, there are a lot of interesting small cap biotech plays that are, I don't know, there's something to be considered if we're going to go into this, if we're going to break out and markets are going to go, they're going to keep going higher. Those speculative plays will work finally. Let's save that for Thursday. Bring it up Thursday, and I'll message you back about talking Friday. I can't talk tomorrow, but maybe Friday. I'll let you know. Mr. Lauderdale wants to look at Ethereum, Bitcoin, and we do have this big 886 bat pattern. Why do people want to look at that? Because I know everyone's wondering if this is alt season. Check out the bat pattern better on the monthly chart. And this month, okay, we do have HSI, a whole bunch of things down here, where finally can we get above, out of the XA level, really, if this is going to move. And this is probably a good one to look at because we are trying to really dive deep on some secondary markets to understand when possibly the altcoins will run. And I'll tell you this, just looking at this, okay, you got to get above the 50 on HSI. That could happen this month, but you need to see the progress literally this month. It's not something I'm really concerned myself too much with. I put it in the same category as Binance Coin, excuse me, not Binance Coin, Bitcoin dominance. All right, and this thing topped out back in 22, and we've had runs in altcoins without this relationship linking up. I know back in 2020 that was something people looked at and it worked. Maybe we'll get it, but you're still a few bars away. And certainly HSI would need to rage above the 50 to trigger that. Yeah. Not really, not what I'm looking for. What's up, King? Can I put the translation into Arabic? Oh man, you're over my skill set. I'll look into that. I know there's a setting, maybe some languages. Anybody else? Any other foreign language recommendations? I know there's a way to do that for the voice recognition, the closed caption translation. Spanish, anybody? Portuguese? German? Let me know. What do I think the chances of that hitting the hop? I don't think it'll hit the hop because we have HSI. You have a few things down here. That would mean Bitcoin would rage. Get above the 50 level. It's not going to hit the hop when you've made the inflection and you're moving like this. I mean, you'd have to see basically roll over this month. But we'll stay in tune with this because if it does get above there, yeah, that looks good. One or two more guys, and I got to get back to it. Cake. Didn't some of these pop today? Yeah, I mean, look. Cake is down here. You got patterns, but you've got no action. Beautiful patterns. I mean, that's beautiful, but You know, XA is 167, target 2 is 395. That would be about it. Someone was talking about synthetics in my group today of that had moved. No. Guys, what was the one that popped today? It wasn't synthetics. But that's a nice type 2. It's checking back. But this is the problem I have with all these T coins. You're at all-time lows here. So even if that did a recovery move, I would rather be in something that's trending. I would rather buy a crypto that has a retracement within an uptrend than even a perfect type 2 here, but it's at all-time lows. And that just is not moving in the right direction. And this is 98% of all crypto. It looks like this, and that's a disappointment. Matthew, I have no. What is Old English and Klingon? I have no idea what those are. No idea, man. Okay, guys. One or last one to Zbeck. What is that? Zbeck Network. Oh, I can't do anything. Why can't you get to me? Get the software and show me some. I would love to see these stuff that I'm not looking at. Certainly, I always am interested to hear and learn about new crypto. I mean, that would have been great at 1/10 of a penny before it went to 6/10 of a penny. There's nothing I can give to you there. Sorry. But if we'll save it for Thursday. I mean, if it had something down there, sure. There's a few that Ponzi had put up that, that he's this Hosick. Hosiko cat. I have no idea what that is. But he's been talking about it, and this has done. This is one that he brought up. He was here a couple weeks ago. It came out on MEXC recently. Now, why I think this is something to look at, because the post-release frenzy went from a penny on MEXC the day it was launched for 6x, 6 cents, all the way back to the 886. So get used to it. That's crypto. But if you're looking for a secondary opportunity, I get what he's saying. You're there, you got a dot, you're at the 886. Can we do something more? Can we at least go like from here to a 382, which would be 3 cents? Maybe. I don't know enough about it. We'll get him back here in a few weeks. He knows all about these plays. I'm more about the stocks, guys, because I think there's a lot more stocks that are running than trying to chase bottom feeders. And, he might catch a 3x move. But I also know Ponzi's smart enough, he's going to take the profit when he gets it. And I'm going to recommend that to everybody in any position that you're in now. You better have a target in the next 3 to 4 months and be looking to get out by the end of the year. I mean, these are stuff, all this crypto, this type of crypto is just pure speculation. You're going to get a big pop and you're going to roll it right back down. Be aware of that. Yeah, that's all good. Let's save that for next time. What's that, David? IQ? What is IQ? I'll look at that. This will be last one for the day. Is that a treasury play? What is this? Technology, internet? Beautiful type 2 at 157. But this is another bottom feeder. Why don't you bring this back next time? I love the dynamics, but again, this is I am more of I would prefer, instead of trying to scoop something that's at all-time new lows, and maybe that works, but I'd rather be buying markets that trend up and then give you a pattern retracement and go again. And that's, I'll give you one, and I'll leave it on this. Coinbase. Coinbase is exactly the one where Coinbase did the move. Down, it got crushed post IPO frenzy, comes all the way back out, and then retracement with that shark and a couple of patterns here, and then another one for the retest. And the great thing about Coinbase today, and again, we'll follow up on Thursday, we have a continuation HSI. So that's a good sign for crypto. It's another one of these secondary market signals where, well, if Coinbase is going to give us a continuation signal now, all right, maybe it's telling us something about crypto in general. But the clock is ticking on crypto, guys. Our window has 3, maybe 6 months tops, and then we're done. And I say that for 99.9% of all crypto because Bitcoin is just dominating in terms of receiving asset allocation, and most of this other stuff hasn't really produced big gains. Hasn't done 2020 moves. I don't think it will either. This is a Bitcoin cycle. I have been saying that for 2 years, and it remains a Bitcoin cycle to get the mainstream allocation you want to see. All right? Folks, who's still here? Who wants to win a 30-day trial membership? And HPC 30 will get it for the gold membership as well. You have to send me a note on Discord. Anybody else that wants to join our Discord, hit that link. It's all free. If you have any questions, contact me there. And everyone else, get over to harmonictrader.com. Register now. Basic membership is available. And the free trial for everybody for at least 2 weeks. Send your TradingView username to HPC at SR-analyst. And you get 14 days. And that's all you need to know what's going on here. Mr. Race, you win. Mr. Race, you have to contact me. Please do it this afternoon so we can get you set up. Just go over to that Discord. Send me a message. Everyone else, you have your assignment. Join me back here on Thursday, 12:30. Hit like, subscribe on the way out so you get the messages of when I'm live. And anybody else, you have any questions, get on the Discord. Thanks, people. Great session. A lot to look forward to. We'll see you back here on Thursday. As always, go get 'em, folks.